Have you been hearing all the negative talk about property lately? About overpriced properties, low rentals, low yields, low return on investment? And so in today's video, I'm asking the question, is property still a good investment? Should you still be thinking about acquiring property in today's environment? Well, watch this video to find out why I think the answer is yes, and listen to the reasons I have. Special thank you to the management and staff of Bojangles for allowing us to shoot this video in this fine establishment. If we haven't met, my name is Natasha Chumia. I'm the CEO of Diaspora Connect, and on this channel, I like to give you information and inspiration on the Zambian real estate market so that you in the diaspora can learn how to buy property in a safe and reliable way. So in today's video, I'm asking the question, is property still a good investment? Now, I ran a poll on my LinkedIn page where I asked this very question and I got over 100 responses. 76% said yes, property is still a good investment, and 24% said no, it's better to invest elsewhere. So of course, I stand with the yeses, and in this video, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I think property is still a good investment in today's environment. So if you like the sound of that, then please give this video a thumbs up and please do subscribe. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and so we really appreciate your support. My first reason is capital appreciation. Property is an asset that appreciates in value. And in Zambia, what we've seen over the last few years is rapid appreciation in the value of property. And this is because the market is still quite new, it's still quite young, and we have a lot of demand, growing demand for property. So this leads to a rapid rate of appreciation. And I want to give you 2 examples. So the first example I want to give is of Salama Park. In 2012, an 800 square meter plot was costing roughly around 200,000 kwacha. As of 2022, a 750 square meter plot, so that's roughly the same size but slightly smaller, was costing about 630,000 kwacha. That is an appreciation of over 200%. Now, you might think that that's unusual, maybe it's an outlier, but I can assure you that it's not. The other example I want to give is Roma Park. So when Roma Park started selling their plots, they were going at $28.50 per square meter, and that was back in 2011. Today, a plot in Roma Park is costing you $130 per square meter. That's a rate of appreciation of over 300%. So like I said, these figures are not outliers. Now, I want you to hold these figures, just remember them for the point that I'm going to make later on in this video. So what's causing this rapid rate of appreciation? So like I said, there's still a lot of development happening in the country that causes the value of property to rise. So for example, government has been doing a lot of work on the road infrastructure that has caused a huge appreciation of many properties. Or you may find that a developer comes in and puts new infrastructure in an area, maybe a new office block, maybe a retail center. All of those things add value to the properties in those areas. Even your additions can cause your property to appreciate. So you might put in a swimming pool, you might decide to redo your bathrooms and your kitchen, you might have some beautiful landscaping that you do in your yard. All of these things can cause your property to appreciate beyond the value of what you have spent. So that's one good reason to buy property, is the value appreciation. Now let's come to the second reason why I think property is still a good investment, and that is income from rentals. Now, there's been a lot of discussion that rentals are really low and they don't really make it worth your while to invest in property. But I would argue that there's still scope to increase rentals. And again, I want to give you some examples. So some time back, we interviewed Chomba Chambeshi, and she had a very normal house and she was renting out a small cottage where she was getting 2,000 kwacha per month. She decided to turn it into student accommodation and went from 2,000 kwacha a month to 6,000 kwacha a month. She 3x'd her rental income. Another example I can give you was the interview that I did with Chisha Kumisiku, who also took one single house, and she took it from one single family dwelling to student accommodation with 24 students. She probably 10x'd her income. So just imagine that, from one family to 24 students. So if you think that rental income is low, then look at ways that you can increase your rental income. You can do this through student accommodation, you can do it through short stays, you can also do it, like I said, by adding value to your property. What are those things that you can do to your property to make it more attractive and to help you increase your rentals? So this is the double punch of property. You get capital appreciation and you get income from that asset. And it's very rare that you have an asset that can give you these two things. The third reason why I think property is still a great investment, especially in today's environment, is because it protects you against market fluctuation, particularly inflation and exchange rates. We're often encouraged to invest our money in treasury bills, government bonds, and we're told that the returns are better. So you don't have to worry about the headaches of building, of wear and tear and maintenance. You don't have to worry about pesky tenants who are not paying you rent or being very difficult. And that is all well and good. But those arguments don't take into account the fluctuations that we often see in our market. They argue that with treasury bills and government bonds, aside from not having the headaches of property, you'll even get a better return on your income. But will the value of that kwacha be the same? In 2021, inflation was 24% and we had the worst performing currency. In 2022, inflation came down to 9% and then suddenly we had the best performing currency. And we've seen in the last couple of months, the kwacha was depreciating, now it's appreciating again. Nobody knows where the kwacha will go. It can be up today, it can be down tomorrow. So just really be careful when you're deciding to put your money into these more liquid assets, because you're really taking a gamble on the state of the economy, on something over which you have very little, if not no control. The great thing about property is that it is a store of value. Now, I want to tell you about a financial advisor who came to see me, and he gave me this whole argument about why I should use their asset management company to invest in treasury bills and government bonds. And he was like, don't build, Natasha, everybody's building, don't build flats. I bumped into him a year later, and what was he doing? He was building flats. So just remember that the financial advisor who tells you to buy treasury bonds is getting a bonus from your money and going to build flats. The fourth reason why I think property is a good investment, because not only does it protect you against market fluctuations, it also protects you against market failures. Now, when we invest in other assets, for example, financial instruments, we often have to do so through an intermediary. We can do it directly, but of course, it's much easier sometimes to invest through an intermediary, such as an asset management company. But we all know what's happened on the market. Sometimes these companies actually go down. So we've seen people save into a school fees plan that goes down. We've seen some unit trusts that have gone down. We've even seen savings in bank accounts go down because the financial institution hasn't been stable. Now, in the 90s, we had a lot of instability in our financial markets, and a lot has been done to correct that. But of course, we have still seen some companies go into failure. So when you invest in financial instruments through these companies, you're taking a bet on the management and the operations of that company. Whereas with property, you are still in the driver's seat and you have a buffer against these market failures and market fluctuations. My fifth reason why you should buy property, why I think it's still a good investment, is leverage. leverage, guys. You can leverage property, meaning you can borrow against it. You can't necessarily borrow against your treasury bills and government bonds. You can if you are a sophisticated borrower and if you've got a great relationship with your bank, etc., etc. But by and large, the first thing that banks are going to do is ask you for collateral. And when you have a property, you can provide that property as collateral. And so that means that you can actually use your property to grow your business. I have done this myself and it has really helped me. I have done 2 projects because I was able to raise money from my bank using my home as collateral. And that's the whole point about having property. That's how you build wealth with property. My final thought on this is, yes, property is still a good investment. And I just want to ask a few questions. What do retirees invest their pension in? They invested in property. What does every pension fund, no matter how big or small, have in its portfolio? Property. What do rich people, high net worth individuals who make millions, billions, what do they have in their portfolios? Property. All this negative talk about property, to be honest with you, I think it comes from us in the middle class because we're always looking at income. Whereas wealthy people, rich people look at wealth. They don't look at income today. They look at how do I build wealth over the long term. And that's the kind of thinking that we need to have. And that's why I think that property is still a good investment in today's environment. If you agree with me that property is a good investment, then click the link below this video and you'll be able to get a brochure of our current property offers. We would love also to talk to you if you want to know more about any of our offers. Otherwise, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. I hope you hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, then please do. Like I said, we are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. We would appreciate your support so much. Share this video with a Zambian in your community who you know is interested in property. Otherwise, connect with us on social media. We would love to talk to you and chat with you there. And it's bye for now.